My dear students, welcome back to our channel. In this video, I will be explaining the Bcom 5th semester subject Business Economics as prescribed by Osmania University and other universities of Telangana. We will go through the important questions and answers one by one. Let's begin with a quick revision. Unit 1 first important short question is Business Economics. Business Economics Introduction. Business economics is the study of how businesses make decisions about production, costs, pricing, and profits. It applies economic theory to real-world business problems. In simple words, it helps business owners answer questions like, how much should I produce? At what price should I sell? How can I maximize profit? Example, imagine you run a juice shop. You have to decide how many juices to make daily. Making too few means losing customers. Making too many leads to wastage. Business economics helps you find the best balance. Nature and characteristics. Practical and decision-oriented. Combines economics and business knowledge. Focuses on profit maximization. Importance, it guides businesses in planning, pricing, investment, and resource allocation. Think of business economics as a map for business decisions. It shows the smartest route to grow and succeed. Next important short question is 2. Nature of business economics. The nature of business economics shows how economic principles are applied to solve real business problems. It is practical, decision-oriented, and helps businesses take smart choices to maximize profit and use resources efficiently. Key points. 1. Practical and applied. It is not just theory, it helps in daily business decisions like pricing, production, and investment. 2. Decision-making. It helps managers choose the best alternative when resources are limited. 3. Profit-oriented. Every decision aims to increase profit or reduce loss. 4. Dynamic. Business economics adapts to changing markets, competition, and customer needs. Example, suppose you own a small clothing shop. Business economics helps you decide how many shirts to produce, what price to sell, and how much to spend on advertising to attract more customers and earn profit. In short, business economics acts like a compass for business decisions, guiding managers to make the right choices in the business world. Next important short question is 3. Price theory. Price theory is a part of business economics that explains how prices of goods and services are determined in the market. It studies the interaction of demand, buyers, and supply, producers, to decide the best price for a product. Key points. 1. Demand and supply. Price rises when demand is more than supply and falls when supply exceeds demand. 2. Decision tool. Helps businesses decide how much to sell and at what price to maximize profit. 3. Market-oriented. Prices change based on customers' preferences, production costs, and competition. Example, suppose you sell mangoes. During summer, mangoes are in high demand, so you can charge a higher price. In winter, demand drops, so you lower the price to sell all mangoes. Remember, price theory is like a thermometer for the market. It tells businesses how hot or cold the demand is, helping them set the right price and earn profit. Next important short question is 4. Microeconomics. Microeconomics is the branch of economics that studies individual units like households, firms, and markets. It focuses on how people and businesses make decisions about spending, production, and pricing. In simple words, it looks at the small picture of the economy. Key points. 1. Individual focus. Studies decisions of a single consumer, firm, or product. 2. Decision-making helps businesses decide how much to produce, what price to charge, and how to maximize profit. 3. Resource allocation helps use limited resources efficiently. Example, suppose you run a small tea stall. Microeconomics helps you decide how many cups of tea to prepare daily, how much to charge per cup, and how many employees to hire to earn maximum profit. Remember, microeconomics is like a magnifying glass for the economy. It zooms in on small units to help make smart business decisions. Next important short question is 5. Macroeconomics. Macroeconomics is the branch of economics that studies the big picture of the economy. It focuses on overall economic factors like national income, total production, employment, inflation, and government policies. Unlike microeconomics, which looks at individuals or firms, macroeconomics looks at the whole economy. Key points. 1. Aggregate focus studies total output, total demand, and total supply. 2. Policy-oriented helps governments plan taxes, subsidies, and economic growth policies. 3. Problem-solving helps tackle unemployment, inflation, and economic slowdown. Example, imagine India wants to increase jobs for millions of people. Macroeconomics studies how much the government should invest, which industries to support, and how to control prices to boost the economy. Remember, macroeconomics is like a satellite view of the economy. It shows the big picture and helps both governments and businesses plan for growth. Next, Unit 1. Long questions. First important long question is 1. Explain the importance and role of business economics. Importance and role of business economics. Business economics is very important because it helps businesses make smart decisions and grow successfully. It applies economic principles to solve real-world business problems like pricing, production, and profit planning. Importance of business economics. 1. Decision-making. Every business has limited resources. Business economics helps managers decide what to produce, how much to produce, and at what price to sell. Example, a sweet shop owner decides whether to make more laddus or jalebis based on customer demand and cost of ingredients. 2. Profit maximization. It guides businesses to increase profits and reduce losses by analyzing costs, revenues, and market conditions. 3. Planning and forecasting. Helps in predicting future trends like demand for products, market competition, and economic conditions. Example, a mobile phone company can plan how many phones to manufacture next year based on expected demand and new technology trends. 4. Resource utilization ensures efficient use of resources like labor, money, and raw materials, avoiding wastage. 5. Pricing decisions helps in deciding the right price that customers can afford and the business can earn profit. 6. Investment decisions guides businesses on where and how much to invest for maximum returns. 7. Economic environment understanding helps businesses adapt to changes in government policies, taxes, inflation, and interest rates. Role of business economics. Acts as a decision-making tool for managers. Helps in planning, organizing, and controlling business activities efficiently. Provides insights into market behavior, consumer preferences, and competitor strategies. Example, suppose a new tea brand wants to enter the market. Business economics helps decide how many packets to produce, at what price to sell, and how to compete with other brands, ensuring success and profit. Remember, business economics is like a compass for a ship. It guides managers through uncertain business waters, helping them reach their goals safely and profitably. Next important long question is 2. Define microeconomics. Explain the nature and scope of microeconomics. Microeconomics, definition, nature, and scope. Definition. Microeconomics is the branch of economics that studies the behavior of individual units like consumers, households, and firms. It focuses on how they make decisions about spending, production, and pricing. In simple words, it looks at the small picture of the economy, unlike macroeconomics, which looks at the whole economy. Nature of microeconomics. 1. Individual focus. Microeconomics studies individual consumers, businesses, or industries, not the entire economy. 2. Decision-oriented. It helps managers and consumers make the best choice with limited resources. 3. Practical in business. It is applied in pricing, production, and cost analysis to maximize profit. 4. Analyzes market mechanism, explains how demand and supply interact to determine prices. Example, nature: a juice stall owner decides how many glasses to sell and at what price to earn maximum profit. This is microeconomics in action. Scope of microeconomics. 1. Consumer behavior, studies how consumers decide what to buy and in what quantity. 2. Theory of production, explains how firms decide how much to produce to minimize costs and maximize profit. 3. Cost and revenue analysis, helps businesses understand production costs and plan revenue strategies. 4. Pricing decisions, guides firms in setting the right price for products based on demand, supply, and competition. 5. Profit analysis, helps managers understand how profits change with output, price, and cost. 6. Factor market analysis, studies how labor, capital, and land are hired and how their prices are determined. Example, scope: a clothing manufacturer uses microeconomics to decide how many shirts to make, how to price them, and how many workers to hire for maximum profit. Remember, microeconomics is like a microscope for the economy. It zooms in on small units to help individuals and businesses make smart and profitable decisions. Next important long question is 3. Explain the scope of microeconomics. Distinguish between microeconomics and macroeconomics. Scope of microeconomics. Microeconomics studies individual units of the economy such as consumers, firms, and industries. Its scope means the main areas it covers to explain how decisions are made at a small level. 1. Theory of consumer behavior. It explains how consumers decide what goods to buy and in what quantity, depending on income and prices. Example, a student choosing between buying a pizza or a burger based on pocket money. 2. Theory of production. It studies how producers decide how much to produce, which inputs to use, and how to minimize costs to earn more profit. 3. Cost and revenue analysis. Helps firms understand how costs change with production levels and how to fix prices to earn revenue. 4. Price determination. Explains how demand and supply interact to decide the price of goods and services in the market. 5. Factor pricing. It also studies how wages for labor, rent for land, and interest for capital are determined. Difference between microeconomics and macroeconomics. Basis: microeconomics, macroeconomics. Meaning: studies individual units like consumers, firms, and industries. Studies the economy as a whole. Focus: small picture, decisions of individuals and firms. Big picture: national income, employment, and total output. Main tools: demand and supply, price mechanism. Fiscal and monetary policies. Objective: allocation of resources and profit maximization. Economic growth and stability. Example: a bakery deciding the price of bread. The government deciding how to control inflation. Remember, microeconomics is like a microscope. It studies small details, while macroeconomics is like a telescope. It looks at the whole economy. Both together give a complete picture of how our economy works and how to make better business decisions. Next important long question is: 4. Define the term utility. Explain the law of diminishing marginal utility with a table and diagram. Utility and the law of diminishing marginal utility. Meaning of utility. Utility means the satisfaction or pleasure a consumer gets from consuming a product or service. In simple words, utility measures how happy or satisfied you feel after using something. Example: when you drink a glass of water on a hot day, your thirst reduces and you feel satisfied. That satisfaction is called utility. Law of diminishing marginal utility, LDMU. This law was introduced by Dr. Alfred Marshall. It states that as a person consumes more and more units of a good, the extra satisfaction, marginal utility, from each additional unit goes on decreasing. In short, more consumption, less satisfaction. Example: when you eat pizza slices one by one, the first slice gives high satisfaction. The second slice gives a little less. The third slice gives even less. Finally, you may not even want the next one. Table: number of pizza slices, total utility, marginal utility. 1 20-20, 2 35-15, 3 45-10, 4 55, 5 50-0, 6 48-2. As consumption increases, marginal utility, mu, keeps decreasing and can even become negative. Diagram. Simple explanation can be drawn in exam. X-axis, number of units consumed. Y-axis, marginal utility. The mu curve slopes downward from left to right, showing that as quantity increases, satisfaction decreases. Conclusion. The law of diminishing marginal utility explains why demand curves slope downward, because people are willing to pay less for each additional unit. Remember, the first bite of your favorite chocolate gives joy, but the fifth bite gives boredom. That's the law in real life. Next important long question is: 5. Explain the law of equimarginal utility with the help of table and diagram. Law of equimarginal utility. Meaning: the law of equimarginal utility is an important rule of consumer behavior. It explains how a consumer spends his limited income on different goods to get maximum total satisfaction. It is also called the law of substitution or law of maximum satisfaction. Definition. According to Alfred Marshall, a consumer will spend his income on different goods in such a way that the last rupee spent on each good gives him equal satisfaction. In simple words, a person gets maximum satisfaction when the marginal utility, mu, per rupee spent on each product is equal. Explanation with example. Suppose a person has 10 rupee to spend on apples and bananas. Price of one apple is equal to 2 rupees. Price of one banana is equal to 1 rupee. The consumer wants to divide his money to get the highest satisfaction. Units: mu of apples, mu of bananas. 1 2016, 2 1612, 3 12-8, 4 8-4. Now, the consumer compares mu per rupee. Mu per for apples is equal to mu divided by price is equal to 16 divided by 2 equals 8. Mu per for bananas is equal to mu divided by price is equal to 8 divided by 1 equals 8. When mu per is equal, 8 is equal to 8, total satisfaction is maximum. Diagram, explain in words for exam. X-axis, quantity of goods, apples and bananas. Y-axis, marginal utility per rupee. Both curves slope downward and meet at a point. This point shows maximum satisfaction, equal mu per. Conclusion. The law of equimarginal utility teaches that a wise consumer always balances his spending to get the most happiness from his limited income. Remember, just like balancing a thali meal, a little rice, some curry, some sweets, you enjoy more than eating only one dish.